We now welcome on to Inside TBT, former Dayton player and now member of Red Scare, Ryan Mikesell. Ryan, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad you reached out and we could figure out a time and let's get it rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get started, I just want to congratulate you on an awesome career and then especially an awesome, great season this year. Obviously, not the ending that anyone in the history of the world had ever expected, but Nonetheless, a really impressive, great season. It was fun watching Dayton basketball this year.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It wasn't. I will admit at the beginning I was a little bitter about the whole situation, especially with the season ending and kind of ending my career like that. But as time goes on, you kind of get a better perspective on things. So I'm glad we had the season we did and we finished like we finished.
Before we kind of dive into the TBT, the Red Scare stuff, it would be a disservice if we didn't kind of reflect on your career because you and Trey being involved in Red Scare is kind of taking the TBT and the players involved to a whole nother level. So I guess my first question for you in regards to that is preseason, what were the expectations for you guys coming into the year?
Yeah, I mean, we knew going into the season we were going to be a really good team. We had a lot of talent returning back. And, going into that summer, you could just tell the workouts and everything were different. We just had a level of preparation that was kind of a business mentality, and we went to practice every day. And we didn't have too many bad practices, which in college basketball, you would know, like you can have your ups and downs throughout the whole preseason. And then going into the season, I knew we were going to, like I said, I knew we were going to be a good team. And then that first game, I think we played Indiana State. We only won about 8 points. So like, I'm still thinking to myself, I'm like, are we a good team? Like, I don't know. We have the talent, but like, are we going to mesh it together? And then obviously when we went to Maui, we kind of turned it up and kind of showed everybody that we were one of the best teams in the country. But it was kind of fun. It was a little,
the Maui bump.
Yeah, the Maui bump. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, it was big time.
The natural follow-up question to that is, did you know that the secret of Obi Toppin was about to be released on the world?
Honestly, I knew it was just a matter of time. Like he's been doing this, like the stuff he did this year, he was doing that all the time when he first got on campus, but he just like didn't understand how to translate it to like a game setting. And like, so I actually redshirted after my sophomore season, I had 2 hip surgeries, so I was able to practice towards the end of the season. It was me, him. He was an academic redshirt, and some other walk-ons, and we played. And he was usually like one of the better post players, and he would do stuff in practice whether it was like dunking on somebody or, you could just throw it at the rim, and he would just go up and get it. And I was just like thinking, like, this dude's like a pro. Like I haven't played with a lot of NBA, like he's big time. Like I knew he was just different than everybody. And then obviously this past season, he just, did his thing and proved to everybody that he's the best player in the country.
So obviously he kind of played the role of the on the floor leader for you guys, high score, everything like that. Who was kind of the vocal leader for this Dayton team this year?
Yeah, that was definitely Trey in terms of just he kind of set the tone in practice with his just his voice. He has such a loud personality, and it's very infectious. And that was one thing me and Trey talked about. We actually complement each other well in terms of our leadership qualities. Like he's more of a vocal, outgoing, like get in your face, if you need like a kick in the butt, where I'm more of like the calmness guy, the guy who leads by example a lot. And when things go wrong, it's a little chaotic, they kind of turn to me, and I'm the one who kind of calms people down and goes to the next play. So Trey was always that vocal guy, and I was that guy who kind of gave the calm confidence kind of deal. So we complemented each other well on and off the court. And I think, having 2 seniors like me and Trey, we just had a lot of experience, and guys kind of fed off that.
Is it fair to name you guys the 2019-2020 national champions? Because I think it's possible to say that.
I mean, I'm of course going to say that I think we had a legitimate chance of winning it. I think obviously the whole seeding and all that stuff, we were going to be a number 1 seed. So I think we had a great chance to get into the Final Four. And then once you get there, who knows what's going to happen. But obviously I'm not going to accept it because it didn't happen. But in my head, I was really, I really thought we had a legitimate chance, which is, it sucks when you say it, but it is what it is now.
Yeah, Andrew, stop saying it. Okay. I guess another fun, while we're talking about Dayton, and you mentioned Final Four, another Final Four of sorts that people want to happen is the Ohio State versus Dayton versus Cincinnati versus Xavier, little Ohio showdown. What are your thoughts on that? I'm sure you're all for it.
Yeah, I'm for it. I know they were talking about doing that in college at some point. I know there was just a question for Holtman talking about whether he would play Dayton. Since I know Ohio State played Cincinnati a couple times. I don't know if Ohio State still plays Xavier, but I think they definitely need a tournament like that. Like, I think it would obviously bring in tons of money, tons of fans would come in and watch, and it would have all sorts of publicity on it. I'm obviously going to be for it as a Dayton guy. We don't get to play a lot of top-notch teams like that, so getting to play Ohio State and obviously Xavier, getting that rivalry going again, Cincinnati, it would be awesome to see.
We could see kind of
go
ahead, Joe. Go ahead. All right, I'll go. we could see kind of a modified version of that in the TBT this year. We could see a matchup between Red Scare and Carmen's crew, or even Big X, which has a bunch of Ohio State players on it. So Joey, and I think we got a chance of seeing a modified version of Dayton, Ohio State this year.
Yeah. Is there a lot of Cincinnati guys in it, like from UC? They don't have a team, right?
There used to be a team called Bearcat Jam, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know what the status is this year. Obviously, with the tournament being a lot smaller, it's just like it's only, it's fair to say that it's only the highest profile teams basically, for whatever reason that might be. Obviously, that's going to include Dayton. Obviously, it's going to include both Ohio State teams.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, it's like, hey man, Cincinnati. That's just how it rolls, man. You ain't got it in Ohio sometimes,
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited to just go out there and play against those Ohio State teams. So I'm from Ohio. I grew up an Ohio State fan, so I'm like super excited to get a chance to play against guys like Aaron Kraft, David Lighty, Jared Solinger. I think he coached last year. Maybe he'll play this year. I don't know. But like guys like that, I grew up as a kid watching, and I was like idolized. Like I wanted to be in their jerseys and their footsteps. And now that I'm going to get an opportunity to kind of play against them, possibly, is going to be pretty cool.
Is that part of the reason, in addition to other things, that it makes the TBT so exciting for you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to it against. This is some of the best competition in the entire world. I mean, a lot of these guys, they had a crack at the NBA. If that didn't work out, they're overseas now making tons of money and on the top leagues over there. So you get to kind of put yourself and compare yourself against those guys and kind of get where you want to get to and see how much further you have along to get there.
Is this something you kind of?
Yeah, you go ahead, Andrew. You got the stage.
Well, I feel like we're both about to ask the same thing. Is this kind of something that you always thought you wanted to do when you saw the Dayton team the last few years, or was this the season ended? You don't know the next time you're getting on the court. I want to play in this TBT thing.
It was always something I really thought about. Obviously, it was a lot of things had to kind of, you had to wait and see on how the seasons ended and where your stock was going to be in terms of the NBA and all that stuff. But I always kind of figured I'd kind of be in this position. And then obviously when Bonsu and Gruden, they asked me, they're, really good friends of mine and teammates, or I guess old teammates. When they asked me, it was kind of a no-brainer. I wanted to do that and be able to put the Flyer, name across your chest again is going to be special anytime you get to do that. So I'm looking forward to it.
So how have you been? Obviously, we're in quarantine. Ohio has some different rules than some other states. How have you been able to prepare? Because I'm sure at the beginning, it was a little nerve-wracking with the fact that, facilities, equipment, whatever you want to call it, it's not at everyone's disposal the same way it was. How have you kind of been preparing for the TBT?
Yeah. So, after the season, I was just, I didn't expect the whole quarantine situation. It was just stay and work out and use their facilities as long as I can. But obviously, the campus got completely shut down. You get kicked out of the practice facility. couldn't use the weight room. So at the beginning of quarantine, I took about a week off, let my body heal up. And then, I kind of just devised the plan. I was able to find some gyms at home. Some gyms.
What's up, Scott?
Wait, luckily we lost you for a second, so you just have to start over anyway because we.
Okay. Well, anyway, I planned on working out at campus.
It's dead. Do you remember Ryan Mikesell who played for Dayton?
Yes. Well, that's
Scott
it.
Lane, big basketball fan.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Not tall basketball fan, just big.
Just big.
Now you have to walk by though before we start going again. All right. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Hey man, that's quarantine life, baby. When you come back,
I was gonna say that's part of the deal. I understand that.
See you guys.
Oh shoot, that's so funny. No. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah. That's so. It's thank God you cut out a little bit when my dad was walking in. So you can just start right from the beginning. Okay. My bad.
So basically, I was gonna obviously at the end of the season, my plan was to work at Dayton for as long as possible until I kind of got kicked off campus. But when we got back from the A10 tournament, everything got canceled. The whole campus got shut down, so I wasn't able to use any of those facilities. So I went home. I was able to find some like dumbbells, and then I was able to actually find this whole like weight set. So I've been lifting and stuff down in my basement. And then I was able to find actually a private like barn. So a family friend of mine, they have like a half court in their barn, which is like the coolest thing ever. I wish I had that. As soon as I found it, I like immediately took a picture, sent it to my dad. I was like, I don't know why we don't have this. Like it's really big time. But yeah, so I've just been, doing that, working out. Obviously I want some competition in my life, so I'm waiting for open gyms and all that stuff to start back up. But where I'm from, it's a really small town, really small community. There's not a lot of, college basketball players that I can work out with and whatnot. So I'm just kind of doing what I can until I can start up with working out with, different trainers and whatnot.
I think we got a new nickname, Andrew, for our good buddy right here, LeBron James.
I saw that guy on Instagram, LeBron James.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah. He's kind of – you're kind of long like KD, so I think we're going to go with Kevin Durant. That one's better.
Durant. Did you guys have these already like written down? Did you guys research these or these?
No, those were just all the comments on that video of the guy.
Oh, on that video. Okay.
Playing in the barn.
It's just because we're big fans of TikTok. That's why. That's why we've seen all these.
LeBron James. That was. So, I didn't see the Kevin Durant one. That one's funny.
There's more too. Not to get off topic. There's more. We can talk about those later though.
Okay.
Yeah. So you and Trey obviously are going and you're playing in TBT. Was there any talk with Obi or anything like that? Maybe getting him on the team. Were you trying to convince him?
I don't even think we talked about it. No. I think once everybody knew that he was going to be like an NBA lottery pick and National Player of the Year, I think it was kind of understood that he wasn't going to play in a TBT or anything like that. But I don't know. I could text him, shoot him a text and say, hey, there's always a roster spot open for you if you want it.
We'd be happy to have him.
I'm not even the GM, but I'm just going to say, hey, he wants to be on our team. Is it? I think everybody will agree it'll be fine. So
yeah, it's safe to say you probably have. I know Jeremiah. You have his blessing. I already know that.
Do you think you can put up Obi numbers in the tournament yourself?
What did he do? He was like 27 and 3 or something like that. I don't know, man. That's really hard. I don't even know if Obi could do that in the TBT, man. Like this is
grown man's game in the TBT.
This is a different type of league, like different type of basketball. This is like, this is some, like you said, grown men like who've been playing professional basketball for 8 to 9 years. So anybody who can do that, I don't even think of as Obi. Any like pro who could come in and do that would be super impressive. So I'm not gonna go out and say I'm gonna average 27 and 4, but I think I can hold I think I can hold my own out there. I should be good.
So do you think a team like yourself or Big X that's got a lot of fresh legs out of college has an advantage or disadvantage? And I think I know what your answer is going to be. compared to a team like Carmen's Crew or Overseas Elite, where they've been playing professionally for a while, but you guys are fresh and young.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll give us, somewhat evident of an advantage. But I mean, at the end of the day, those teams know how to win. And I mean, the Carmen's Crew, they won last year, and then the Overseas Elite teams, they, was full of veteran guys who just understand what it takes to win. So I think if we can get all the athleticism in our young legs, and we can, understand what we need to do for, as a team to collectively come together. I sound like a coach now, but it's true. It's very cliche, and I think we have a legitimate chance to make a good run at this $2 million. I mean, I'm excited to see, old teammates and some guys I haven't played with, and see what we can do out there.
Are you and Trey getting a smaller cut because you are younger of the $2 million? Have you guys talked about that yet?
I don't know. We haven't talked about that yet. I need to text Bonsu and Gruden about that. I hope not. I hope we got.
I wouldn't think you were. I wouldn't think that. I know that Carmen's Crew, the way it was set up for them, was all about contribution, basically, because they knew who their guys were going to be going in, whether it meant that was the head coach or was the guys that were playing the entire game, like David Lighty and Kraft. That's how they kind of split it up. But they also, the reverse of all of it, the guy who got the most money was the guy who was the oldest in playing the league. So it went basically. Who knows what's going to happen? But
I don't know. I don't know how they got. Yeah, I'm not really sure what our rotation is going to be.
I'm looking on here, and it's looking like you got slated for about $163,000, which would be a nice little payday. I don't know how accurate the TBT website is or how up to date it is, but it also says you're 6'7". Are you really only 6'7"? You got to be taller than that.
It depends. Some days my back is a little sore, so I'm a little slouched, and some days I feel about 6'9", 6'8". But yeah, I think I was on the physical day. I think my back was a little tight, so I was about 6'7".
That's kind of how it is for me, because no one sees me on my good days when I'm like 6'3", and they're always like, "Dang, like he's just barely 6 foot." That's
yeah.
So
we have a GA who's about 6'8". He's about 6'7", 6'8". He kind of does the same thing. His height fluctuates. So, like, whenever he squats, his, like, heavy squat days, he'll, like, slouch. And so I'll always be taller than him. And he'll like, always get pissed at me because I always make fun of him. Like, "Oh, you're so short today. Like, how's the weather down there? You shrimp."
Yeah, I'm kind of like that with my weight. I hover around between 220, 190. Kind of depends if we're in quarantine, not in quarantine.
The whole 30 pounds.
Right. But I'm a rock solid 5'11" any day of the week, height-wise. Just your average 5'11", 220 podcaster.
He is
consistency. That's what it's about.
He is the poor man's Jared Sullinger. That's what I like to call him. He is everything that Jared Sullinger is Andrew Zolden. The same way, just a pickup basketball version. So
I can see it. You're just a walking. When you walk into the YMCA or any sort of rec league, it's just a walking. 6 rebounds, 3 illegal screens. 4 black eyes, just the casual.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I'm bringing to the table. You guys are each bringing different things. 10 points. Joey, you're making the Elam ending game-winning shot when your team's up 30, and I'm there. I'm the bruiser. We got a good little pickup team right here.
Hey, I wouldn't want to mess with us. Those are the scarier teams now. The teams that don't look good, you better watch out because they're not missing shots and they're going to play dirty.
Yeah, and they got nothing to lose. That's what last year. I mean, it's there's always a couple teams that are the surprise teams, and it's always guys that you've never heard of because they got nothing to lose and they don't care about other people's opinions. So obviously, a team like Ohio, like Carmen's Crew, Big X, you guys already have the targets on your back, and that's what makes the team, so special.
Yeah.
I think what people kind of don't realize is, there's a lot of people in this league who are playing overseas. Okay. And an overseas career takes a toll on you, especially if you're in a time zone that's completely different. $150,000 might cut your overseas career short by 1 year. You may get to,
yeah, for sure.
Right. I mean, it's a huge pot, and it's everyone who's playing wants and needs the money. So that's why I think it's so special, and has, the players have talked about it in the past that, when we talk to we talked to Kraft and Diebler and Sullinger and those guys, last year, they kind of said, like, this might feel a little better than a national championship. And obviously they were a couple years removed, but they were winning that money. So for you, I'm wondering, do you kind of feel like if Red Scare can win a title, that might be a little bit of redemption for the Dayton team this year?
Yeah, no, I definitely thought about that. As soon as I was asked, it was pretty short. It was shortly after the season, Bonsu and Gruden, they texted me, and I thought to myself, you know what? If we can win $2 million here, I'll accept it. I'll get over the quarantine and the virus taking my season away if that means that we get a win. These $2 million, but we'll see.
Besides,
it'll make a great story.
It'll be a great story. And besides,
you'll tell your kids, it's like, Daddy, did you win the national championship when you went, 27-2, whatever you guys were? It's like, well, son, actually,
better.
Pandemic.
Yeah, we had something better.
Short. A pandemic cut our season short, and then I won the basketball tournament and won $2 million, and that's why you have a trampoline outside your house right now.
That's why you have a barn in your backyard with a basketball hoop.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to build. Yeah, I'll give money to my dad and say, hey, make a barn that I never had, that I should have had my entire life. Maybe I could shoot a little better.
So much riding on the TBT now, it's crazy.
Yeah, I just put so much unnecessary pressure on myself. I don't know why I just did that.
Joey obviously has the connection to Carmen's crew, having grown up a fan of those guys and then going to Ohio State. He has a connection to Big X. He said he's actually kind of moving towards Big X in terms of who he's a fan of this summer.
Some old teammates on there, right?
Those are all, the whole entire team are my teammates.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I saw their roster. I was like, that sounds literally like the old Ohio State.
Yeah, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan free agent. Yeah, I'm a fan free agent. So Ryan,
hey,
pitch
Red
to me.
Scare.
Why? Tell me why.
When was the last time Ohio State and Dayton played each other in college? Who won?
That's true. What's
the answer, Andrew?
Well, the answer is Dayton.
The Sanford floater.
Were you happy when that happened at the time?
Yeah, I was getting recruited by Dayton pretty hard, and I knew so I was always an Ohio State fan. So like Aaron Kraft, he kind of grew up like an hour and a half from where I live, and we always played his team in high school. Like I played Liberty Benton like every year in the district semis or finals or whatever it was. And so I was real familiar with him, and I watched him in high school play St. Henry a lot. So I was always a big fan of him. Like anytime Ohio State was on, I was watching them with Sullinger, Buford, and all those guys. But at that point, I was like also a Dayton fan, and I knew I had a legitimate chance of playing at Dayton. I don't think I committed, but I was getting recruited by them pretty hard. And so I was kind of like a tweener, but like everybody was rooting for Ohio State, so I wanted to root for the underdog against Dayton or for Dayton. So like at the time, I was really happy when Dayton won, but I was also kind of sad because like Aaron Kraft's career ended, and it was just like one of those things that was sad, but it was fun. I remember we were in school watching it.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day on a Spanish field trip in a Spanish restaurant in downtown Chicago, and I'm watching the game under my table, and our teacher, she was cool, like she was fine with me watching. Everyone knew I was a huge Ohio State fan, whatever. And then when they lost, I had to go to the bathroom. I was so mad, and I almost missed the bus. So that's my story about when they lost that game. I know exactly where I was, eating chips.
Yeah. My mom called me out of school because I grew up an Ohio State fan too before I went to the University of Missouri, and my mom called me out of school so I could watch the game. I picked up wings and was watching like all by myself, and it was a disappointing wing eating session, to say the least.
That game was so wild. There's so many ups and downs. I was like, Ohio State's gonna win. Like, and then at the end when B. Sanford hit that shot, I was like, oh my God, Dayton's gonna win.
That's when you knew you were gonna go to Dayton and have an unbelievable career at that moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I wanted to go to Ohio State, but they had, I think, like 4 top 100 players committed already, like very early in my class. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna, go there. So
Yeah, those
It
guys
worked-
all
it
worked
worked
out
out.
pretty darn well, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they all transferred, right? Like none of them stayed there.
In class. I was the only guy who graduated from that class. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
yikes.
So Ryan, this has been a great interview, great conversation. We want to kind of let you tell us anything that we may have missed, whether it's Dayton, TBT, anything that you were looking forward to maybe talking about.
No, I mean, I think we pretty much hit on everything. I'm just excited to play against guys that I kind of grew up watching, and I'm especially excited to get to play against or play with former teammates, guys like Kyle, Kendall, Daryl. I spent so many hours in the gym with them, so I'm excited to kind of renew that and get out there and play with Dayton across my chest one last time, and hopefully we can come out a winner. Yeah, that's all I got.
Wow, I'm pumped up right now. That was beautiful. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Mikesell, if you're not on the Red Scare train, jump aboard because they're going to
Yes,
do
sir.
some damage this summer. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Ryan.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.